The episode opens with chaos on Earth. A man named Na-gyeon has committed a murder, yet somehow escapes justice. The media bombards him with questions, but he slips away into a car, confident he's safe. What he doesn't know is that in the underworld, the employees of Hell are already recording every detail of his crime. Meanwhile, Na-gyeon is back on Earth for work. He crosses paths with Na-gyeon, now arrogant and boastful, as Na-gyeon throws him car keys and money, assuming Na-gyeon is a valet. The disrespect is palpable. A funeral is being conducted, but the photo of the deceased Koleong is missing. We flash back to heaven, where Koleong confides in director Yomra and Na-gyeon about being forgotten by his children. All he wants is to be remembered, to have his photo at the funeral. The director grants his wish and snaps a picture. Na-gyeon later places this photograph at the service. Next, Na-gyeon rides a train from Earth to heaven. On board, he smiles at a little girl, and she smiles back. But when the Hell station arrives, the girl's parents exit, leaving her behind. She's now an orphan, forgotten by her own family who descended into Hell. At the church, Haesoo is meeting with the pastor. He notices she's gained a 5th sin circle, an alarming number. Flashbacks show Haesoo gossiping to Somnia about how scary the pastor seemed. Feeling guilty, she confesses this to him, which ironically earns her yet another stamp. The pastor gives it to her without judgment. Elsewhere, Na-gyeon returns to heaven with the orphaned girl. A staff member takes her in and assures him they'll look after her. Back home, Haesoo finds Na-gyeon studying. She swoons internally, calling him handsome to herself. When he catches her off guard, he admits he was waiting for her. They head inside where he spots her 5 sin circles. Furious, he warns her again, one more and she'll fall into Hell. She promises to be more careful. Inside, Somnia greets them with a homemade meal. It's delicious. Haesoo jokes that Somnia's cooking is nothing like her own terrible food from before. Somnia playfully promises to try harder to become terrible, just to match expectations. Na-gyeon watches the 2 women banter and reflects on their strange but heartwarming dynamic. The next morning, before work, Na-gyeon warns Haesoo again not to leave the house. But Haesoo ends up at the church anyway, talking again to the pastor. She prepares a childhood meal he once mentioned, and he's moved to tears. She gently asks if she can touch his hair, triggering a tender moment. They talk about his past, abandoned at a church at age 5. Haesoo questions why he never tried to find his parents. The pastor, bitter yet broken, says maybe they didn't want to find him. Maybe they went to Hell. Haesoo promises if she ends up in Hell, she'll look for them and tell them he doesn't want to see them. He silently thanks her. Outside, Somnia asks Haesoo for a drink. Haesoo tries to get her one from a vending machine, but her balance is too low. She kicks the machine in frustration, and in doing so earns another sin, the 6th. Instantly, a Hell vehicle arrives to retrieve her. Na-gyeon looks to the sky, his heart sensing the danger. He runs, but it's too late. Haesoo is taken away. Na-gyeon begs director Yomra for help, but the director declines. Haesoo knew the rules. She broke them anyway. Outside, Na-gyeon is approached by one of the 3 talking dogs, who urges him to go after his wife. Meanwhile, the lead dog instructs his companions to stay behind with the pastor. He tells them the pastor is kind and will take them in. The plan works. He adopts them instantly. In Hell, Haesoo awakens surrounded by chaos. Souls are fighting. Then the king of Hell, Yomra, appears, listing the sins of each soul. The punishment will be brutal. The dogs inform the pastor about Haesoo's fall. The pastor realizes she might actually carry his final message to his parents, but regret seeps in. In the palace of Hell, staff are classifying souls and sending them to different punishments. One man was supposed to go to heaven but got lost. When he's redirected, everyone tries to follow him, thinking it's a free pass, only to fall into a lava pit. It was a trap. Haesoo arrives in this chaotic room and is labeled unclassified, not yet sorted. She's sent to a separate zone. Somnia tells Na-gyeon she's willing to go to hell for Haesoo. Just tell her when the train leaves. He stays silent. In hell's unclassified zone, Haesoo finds Young, the girl she once suspected to be Somnia. She's terrified, not knowing what to do. Haesoo assures her everything will be okay. Yomra soon appears and declares that just because they're unclassified doesn't mean they'll avoid punishment. First, he wants them to understand what truly happens in hell. They're taken to observe employees watching live footage of Earth, spying, recording, judging. One scene shows Jean, a drugged man with his girlfriend, being followed. A man from hell watches and gives the order, kill them both. Otherwise, a whole family will die. Jean's car crashes. They die. Na-gyeon arrives in hell determined. He bypasses the health checkpoint and enters the depths. A dog companion follows, but turns into a dog as he crosses the line, forever changed. Still, he presses on. Yomra shows more horrors. In one test, those who wronged others are burned, frozen, or dismembered. The dog, sniffing the air, catches his old owner's scent, one who used to abuse him. Though vengeful at first, the dog ends up rescuing his owner from execution, proving he still remembers love. Back at the scale of judgment, Yomra addresses Haesoo's group. He explains, if the scale doesn't move, you're innocent. If it moves but stays under 49.9, you're safe. If it's over 50, you're guilty and must remain in hell. The couple steps forward, the scale stays still. Innocent. Next is Young. But Haesoo begs, let me take her place. Yomra laughs. You think this is a game? You have no choice. Get on the scale. As Haesoo steps on, the scale begins to move, and it hovers around 50. We don't see the final number. Suddenly, Na-gyeon arrives at the gate, screaming, wait. I'm coming for you. The camera cuts away as his voice echoes in hell. In the final scene, another group of sinners insists they're innocent. Yomra shows their records. These were online trolls who left hateful comments under an actress post. She died by suicide. For this, their heads are severed by giant machines. Yomra laughs coldly as if typing on a ghostly keyboard. In the chaos, Yomra hears someone shouting, it's Na-gyeon. He demands to see his wife. The staff confirm, this is the one we mentioned earlier. Na-gyeon pleads, let me find her. Yomra replies, fine. If you can survive all the trials of hell, it'll return your wife to you. Without hesitation, Na-gyeon jumps into the lava below. The episode ends here. See you in episode 6, airing this Sunday.